Hello everyone. In this video we are going to discuss about the lists in Python. So let us see. So list is nothing but it is a collection of elements enclosed under square brackets. So here these are called as the square brackets. In between you have to specify the elements. Here every element should be separated by comma. So example here, so starting with the square bracket 2 comma 4 comma 7 comma 6 comma 1. So each number is one element. 2 is one element, 4 is second element, 7 is third element, 6 is fourth element, 1 is fifth element. Here in case of list there is no restriction of the data type. As an element you can use any data type. Means in second example you can see that first element is integer, second element is string, third element is float. So means in a list you can specify elements of any data type. So here in third example, here in a list I have taken all elements as the string. Means whole string will be taken as single element. Now let us see how do we access the elements in the list. So here assume that list variable x equal to, in a square brackets I have written 2 comma 3 comma 8 comma 5. So here list contain 4 elements. So if you want to access individual elements from the list, then you have to use the concept of indexing, which is exactly similar to the strings. What are the indexing concept we have used in the strings? Same indexing concept will be applied on the list. So here also we will apply the both in two indexing scheme. First one is the positive indexing, second one is the negative indexing. As usual, positive index always starts from 0 and ends at the number of elements minus 1. So here how many number of elements are there? 4. 4 minus 1 is the index of the last element. Similarly, negative indexing always starts with the minus number of elements. So here how many number of elements are there? 4. So negative index always starts with the minus 4. After that minus 3, minus 2, so on up to minus 1. In a negative indexing, last element index is always minus 1. So here indexing concept exactly similar to the strings. Now let's discuss the lists concept by using practicals. So first open the Python shell and here declare one list variable x equal to, so here I have written some elements to the list 3 comma 1 comma 9. So here if you type the variable name x, here you can see that list has been printed on the screen. This list contains how many number of elements? 6 elements. Now already we have discussed that what are the indexing scheme we are using for the list, which is same as of the string. For suppose in a list I want to access the first element, simply I have to write the x square brackets index as 0. Index 0 means you are accessing the first element of the list. What is the first element here? 5. Similarly, if I write x of 3 means x of 3 is the index of fourth element, means 0 1 2 3. For suppose if I want to access the second element, simply you can write x of 1. X of 1 you means you are accessing the second element. So this is the way you can access the list elements by using positive indexing method. In case if you want to go for the negative indexing, already we have discussed that negative index always starts with the minus length of a list, means number of elements. Here how many number of elements are there? 6. So in negative indexing x of first element in index is minus 6. 6 is the number of elements. So that is the index of first element. In case if you want to access the last element in the list, already we have discussed that in negative indexing last element index is always minus 1, x of minus 1. So here I am displaying 9. So for the element 9 negative index is minus 1. So this is the way you can create the list. Now let's do some programs. So here similar to the strings, concatenation and replication operations both are same for strings and lists. Let's write. First I want to take a two list x equal to 4. This is the first list, and I have taken the second list, y equal to 1 comma 8 comma 5. So here first list contain 4 elements, second list contain 3 elements. Now I want to go for the concatenation operation. So already we have discussed that concatenation means joining two strings into one string. So let us see. Z equal to x plus y and print z, and now run the program. See this one, whole thing has been converted into the single string. So actually 7954 is the first list, 185 is the second list. Both the list has been joined into the single list. Now similarly, replication operation can be applied on the list similar to the string. For suppose x is a list, if you multiply x with any number, that list will be repeated for that many number of times. So here that list contains 4 elements 7954. That is the one list. If you write into 3, so let us see what will be the result. 7954 first time, 7954 second time, 7954 third time. So that many number of times that list elements will be replicated. So this is called as the replication operation. So let's get into some other types of programs by using a list. Means how to read the list of elements from user. So that is our next question. So means read list of elements from user. So how to read? So as usual, simply type x equal to, you can use the input function. Whenever you want to read anything from user, always you have to use the input function. Input, enter list of values. Simply yes. Yeah. Now generally we have discussed that input function always gives the data in the form of a string. So that's why you have to use eval. Eval means eval is used for based on the input data type. Based on the input type. So here the data type will be decided. So let us see an example. So print list entered data is. So it is stored in which variable x. So let's run this program, we'll get an idea. For suppose here I entered 456. It has been taken as 456, which is of integer data type. Okay, let's display data type also. In next line, print data type also. Data type also. Type of x. Yeah. So type function is used to know the data type of a variable. Yeah, let's run and check. So I entered 456. So here enter data is 456 taken as integer and data type is int. Now run again. This time I am entering in string Anil. See this one, Anil has been taken in the form of a string and data type is the string. Now again enter 9.8. So here enter data is 9.8 and data type is float, means here it is taking the form of a real values. Now similarly this is the program I am running again. Now I am taking the data in the form of a list. See this one, data has been taken in the form of a list and data type is list. So conclusion is that eval is used for generally dynamic data types. So whenever you are reading the data from the user, so based on the entered data, the data type of the variable will be decided automatically. So this is the way you can read elements from the list of elements from the user. Now next thing is that, so read a list of elements from user and display how many elements are in list. I want to know that how many elements are there. So here by using this statement I can read list of elements from the user. That that line has been completed. Next thing is that I want to count how many elements are there. So here, similar to the string, you can use the len function. What are the len function we have used in the string? Same function can be applied on the list. Len function counts the number of elements in the list. So take n equal to len of, what is the list variable name? X. That's it. So here len of bracket mein you have written list name. It counts the number of elements in the list. The total number will be stored in the variable n. And after that, simply you can print number of elements in list. Like this you can print. So let's run this program and check. So assume that here I am entering the data 7. So total how many elements we have entered? If you carefully observe that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Click on enter. Yeah. So number of elements in list is 10. So conclusion is that len function is used to count the number of elements in the list. That's it. Now next, assume that already here I am taking the list of elements from user and print element by element. Print element by element. So here what happened? So instead of taking from user, here I am giving some values 6, 2, 4, so total how many elements are there? 6 elements are there. I want to print element by element. So whenever you want to access element by element, you can use the same concept as the strings. What are the concept we have learnt in the string? So by using same concept we can iterate. So list is also can be treated as the sequence. So you can access one element by element by iterating through the for loop. Simply write for k in x. Here x should be the sequence of elements, so which has been given here. So now what happened? Initially k value will be taken as 6, after that k value will be taken as 2, then k value will be taken as 4, then 8, then 9, then 1. So meaning is that for every element in the list, for loop body will be executed one time. So let's write, so print k. So initially k value will be taken as 6, k will be printed on the screen. After that again it will go back and k value will be taken as 2. Again 2 will be printed, again it will go back, k value will be taken as 4, so on until all elements in the list are completed. So let's run and check. See this one, 6, 2, 4, 8, 9, 1. So this is the way we can display the elements by using for loop element by element. So here if you carefully observe that without using indexing concept we are displaying. Now assume that here there are set of elements are there. Now I want to display only even elements. Print only even elements. So this is the list. I want to print only even elements. So how to do? So here up to here everything is same. So whenever you want to print even element, you have to check each and every element whether the element is even or odd. So that's why first you have to iterate the list by using for loop. For k in x means k value will take one element from the list at a time. After that you have to check that whether k is divisible by 2 or not. Means if you divide the element with 2, whether it is giving the remainder as 0 or not. If the remainder is 0, simply write print k. That element will be printed on the screen. Yes. See this one, 6 to 8. Actually the list contain 6 elements, 6, 2, 7, 8, 9, 1. But here I am displaying 6 to 8, means only even elements are empty. Next. So here I want to display sum of elements in list. Sum of elements in list. How can I do? So this is the list. I want to find the sum of elements. So as usual same concept. Whenever they ask you to find the sum or count, take the initial value as 0. Now iterate each element from the list for k in x. Now what we have to do? initial sum is yes. Every time add the current value to the previous sum, add the current element to the previous sum, and repeat this process until all elements in the sequence are completed. After completing that, simply write a message print sum is yes. Run the program and check. So sum is 33. If you add all these elements, 6 plus 2 8, 8 plus 7 15, 23 plus 10 33. So this is the way you can find. Now assume that, so whenever you are finding the sum of even elements only, for suppose this is a list, instead of finding sum of all elements, I want to find the sum of even elements only. So while finding sum of even elements in the list, first what you have to do, you have to divide each element with 2 and check that whether it is getting remainder as 0 or not. If you divide any number with 2, you are getting the remainder as 0, means the number is even. Then what you have to do, add the current element to the previous sum. So what are the element has been divided by 2, that element should be added to the previous total and update the old total, and repeat this process continuously until all elements are completed. Now write even sum is. So the even sum is stored in which variable? S. Now run the program and check. So here output is 16. So here what are the even elements? 6 plus 2 8, 8 plus 8 16. So this is the way you can find the sum of even elements. Now if I want to find the sum of odd elements in the list, sum of odd elements, so you simply write here k mod 2 double equal to 1 instead of 0. If you divide any number with 2, you are getting remainder as the 1, the number is odd, and simply you can write odd sum is, yeah, see this one, odd sum is 17, means 7 plus 9 16, 16 plus 1 is 17. Now what if you want to find the sum of even sum as well as odd sum? I want to display both separately, so that's why here take two temporary variable, even sum is equal to 0, odd sum is equals to 0. Now for k in x, means you are accessing one element at a time from the list. Now divide the element with 2 and check the remainder is 0. If the remainder is 0, the number is even, so you add that element to even sum, even equal to even plus k. In case if the above condition is false, obviously the number is odd. If the number is divisible by 2 means even, if it is not divisible it is odd. Then add that to odd, add that number to odd sum. So repeat this process for all elements in the sequence. After finishing the for loop, write the print statement even sum. Even sum is stored in which variable? Even. And similarly print odd sum. Odd sum is stored in which variable? Odd variable. So that's all. Now run this program and check. See this one, even sum is 16 and odd sum is 17. Both the sum has been calculated separately. Now, so till now here we are accessing the elements of the list one after another by iterating through the for loop. What if I want to iterate the list elements and by using index? By using index, I want to display element by element from the list. So what shall I do? Simply write x equal to, so these are the elements. So total how many elements are there? 5. Now, so whenever you want to display the elements by using index, first thing is that you have to create the index. So how do index will be created? First you have to find the number of elements in the list, len of x. So here number of elements are stored in which variable? N. So if the number of elements are n, what are the positive index range? 0 to n minus 1. So this is the positive index range. So simply you can create by using for k in. By using a range function, you have to generate the index. So how you can write? Starting from 0 to n. So whenever you have written 0 to n, it will generate the index from what it will do? Generate numbers from 0 to n minus 1. So this is the range function syntax. Now after that, k value contains. So here what is the n value? Total number of elements are 5. So let's print and check. Print k. Total number of elements are 5. So n value is 5. In a for loop I have written k in range 0 comma 5. So whenever you write 0 comma 5, so what happens? It will generate the values from 0 to 4 only. So let us run and check what index are getting generated. See this one, 0 1 2 3 4. So this is the way you can create the index. But whenever you want to access an element, what you have to do? Another syntax is there. Whenever you want to access any element by using index, first write the list name. Here what is the list name? X. In a square bracket we have to write the index. What is the index I have used here? K. So x of k means x is the list variable name and k is the index. Now let's run the program and check. 6 5 8 9 2. So this is the way you can display element by element by using index. Now so assume that 7 1 comma 4. So these are the elements are there. Now here what are the possible indexes? 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 indexes are there. 8 indexes are there. Indexes are starting from 0 to 7. So let us check. Yeah, so this is the way you can display. Now so till now we have discussed about the basic programs. So similar to the strings, in lists also there are some important functions. So let us see what are those functions by using id later. Yeah. So assume that x is the list. Whenever you create any list like this, so here x is the empty list. There are no elements in the list x. If you find the length of x, how many elements are there? 0. Now so if you there is one special function is there, append. List name is x dot append. Append is one special function in lists. By using the append, you can add elements at end of the list. So initially there are 0 elements. If I write append of 6, what happened? 6 has been added at the end of the x. See this one, x contain one list element. Similarly, if I write x dot append of 2, now what do x contain? 6 comma 2. Next if I write x dot append of 9, now x contain 6 to 9. If you carefully observe that, append will add elements at ending point of the list. Now list contain how many elements? 3 elements. Now by using the length function, if you count the elements, len of x, what is the count? 3. Now again append one more element, append x dot append of, I written 5. So now what is the x content? 6295. If I write len of x, what is the count? 4. So this is the way by using append function you can add elements at end of the list. Now let us see. Read elements from user and add even elements to another list. So for suppose there is one list, comma 3, comma 4. So these are the elements in the list. Now what is the question? So you already read elements from the user. Now all the even elements should be copied to another list. So assume that for even elements create one dummy list like this, even equal to, this is the empty list without any elements. Now what we have to do? Take one element at a time from the list by using for loop for k in x, iterate. Now what we have to do? all even elements should go to this list. How can I do? Simply if k mod 2 double equal to 0 means if the any list element is divisible by 2, that is the even element. So if the element is even, what I want to do? I want to add to this list. So what is the list name? Even. So what you have to do? Simple even dot, use the append function. Use the append function. In append function, write which element you want to add. Whatever the number divisible by 2, that number should be added to that list. That's why append of key. So that's all. So repeat this process for every element. First do with 2, then do with 3, then 4, then 1, then 6, so on. Now after finishing that, at the end, after finishing the for loop, print even list should be displayed. I want to print even list on the screen. Yeah. Next, run the program and check. See this one, all even elements are there in this list. Very simple logic. In case I want to even elements to one list, even elements, even and odd elements to different lists. So what I have to do, similar to the even, here I am creating the odd empty list initially. Now as usual, if the number is divisible by 2, add to the even, otherwise odd dot append of k. In case if the number is not divisible by 2, then add to another list. So this is the even list, and here I am printing the odd list. Now print and run. See this one, this is the even list, this is the odd list. This list contain only even elements, this list contain only odd elements. So this is the way you can write a different programs by dealing with the strings. The most important feature of the list is mutable. Mutable is nothing but the contents of the list can be modified. Means, for suppose here, let me do with example. So here X is the list 5, 6, 8, 3. So this is the list. So this list contain 5 elements. If I want to access the first element, I can write x of 0. If I want to access the second element, x of 1, so on. Now, so if I want to modify this value, here what is the value? 7. I want to make it as 9. So how can I make it? So here you have to use the concept of indexing. So first let us see what is the index of the second element. First element index is 0, second element index is 1. So simply type x of 1 equals to, I am making it as 9. So what I am doing, in the list x at index 1, I am assigning the new value 9. X of 1 equal to 9. Yeah, there is no error. Now type the list x and display. See this one, earlier in second position 7 was there, now it has been changed to 9. Means you can modify the list contents at any given position. Now similarly, if I want to modify the last element, all of you know that what is the index of last element by using native indexing system? -1. X of -1 equal to, I made it as the 3. Now look at the x, see this one, last element has been changed to 3. So this is the way if you want to replace any existing element with new element, you can do it like this by using the concept of index. Now instead of doing this, for suppose what are the element at the third position, that element should be increased by 5, assume that. So what is the index of the third element? 0, 1, 2. X of 2 is the index of third element. What I have to do, I want to increase the value. So that's why what you have to do, x of 2 equal to, x of 2 means x of 2 old value plus 5. So what I am doing, in x of 2 what is the previous value? 8. 8 will be taken, 8 plus 5, total is 13. 13 will be stored in which position? X of 2. Press enter and display the x. See this one, at index 2 the value became 13, means in the particular index 5 has been added. So these are the one of the most important feature of the list. That concept is called as the mutability. Mutability is nothing but you can modify the contents of the list. So let's write a program. So here take elements, and after that add 4 to even elements. After that what you have to do, add 4 to each even element and minus 4 to, or minus 4, add 20 to each odd element. So this is the program. So let us see. So here we have to be very careful. So whenever you want to modify any value in the list, you should know the index of the element. So that's why first take the list of elements. These are the elements in the list. So always go with the indexing. N equal to ln of x. Now generate the index for k in range. I am generating the index 0 to n minus 1. Yeah. Now what I have to do, if the element is even, then add 4 to that element. If here k is the index, if I want to get a value, I have to write x of k, means value, means list element, mod 2 double equal to 0. If the element is even, what you have to do, x of k equal to x of k plus 4. In the question what they have given, if the element is even, add 4. Similarly, if the element is odd, else x of k equals to x of k plus, for odd element what we have to do, we have to add 20. That's it. And after that write print x, whole list I am printing. So here elements are 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2. Here let's run the program. So this is the output. If you carefully observe that 4 is the even number, 4 plus 4 8, 6 is the even number, 6 plus 4 10, 7 is the odd number, 7 plus 20 27, 8 is the even number, 8 plus 4 12, 9 is the odd number, 9 plus 20 29, so on. So this is the way you can modify the content. So assume that if the number is even, add 4. If the number is odd, then what you have to do, subtract 4. Simple logic. Here simply keep minus and write 4. Simple. Automatically list content will be modified accordingly. Now along with this, lists have some other important functions. Let us see. Assume that this is the list. I am taking this list. Take one list. Some important functions I am going to discuss now. Yeah. So this is the list. Now next important function is the pop. X dot pop. Pop is the function which deletes last element from the list. So here this list contains how many elements? 8, 10, 3, 12, 5, 6. If I write x dot pop, what is the answer? 6. Meaning is that the last element 6 has been deleted. If you try to print the x, you can see that only 5 elements are there. Before pop there are 6 elements. After pop only 5 elements. Assume that write a pop again, x dot pop. Next last element will be deleted. Now what is the x content? 1. So assume that I want to add element back. So which function you have to use? Append. X dot append of 5. See this one? 5 has been added. So this is the way you can add elements to the list. Now after that in a pop you can use some parameter. For suppose if I write x dot pop of 1. Here 1 is the index. Here 1 is the index. In a parenthesis if you write any index, the element at given index will be deleted. So in the above list, first element index is 0, second element index is 1, third element index is 2, 3, 4. At index 1, which element was there? 10. So 10 should be deleted. If I write x dot pop of 1, 1 is the index. See this one, 10 has been deleted. Now print the list, 10 is not there in the list. So this is the way you can write a logic. Now, after this, if you want to arrange the list elements in particular order, either ascending order or descending order, some order, then you have to use one special function, sort. X dot sort. X is the list name, dot sort is the function. See this one, all the elements are kept in ascending order. In case if you want them in descending order, x dot sort reverse equal to true. So it came into the descending order. So generally sort function by default, it keep them in ascending order. If you want to keep them in a descending order, you have to write x dot sort reverse equal to true. So like this, some important functions are there. By using that functions, you can perform some operations very easily. Like for suppose you know the element. So element 5 is there in the list. I want to know its index. How can I get it? X dot index of 5. Element is 5. So what is the index of 5? 2. First element index is 0, 1, 2. So like this, there are different several functions are there. By using these functions, your programming will become more easier. So that's all.